Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon Jerky.
Ligue 1, and the teams that are getting relegated into Ligue 2 is 18th place Montpellier, 17th place Saint Etienne. Fun fact, that is a team that Timothy Chalamet supports. And in 16th place is Stade de Reims. They are in a different scenario in this relegation battle because in that 16th position, they have the opportunity to have they have the opportunity to play to stay in Ligue 1. So they have a play-in game with the third place team of Ligue 2. So the winner of that match will end up going to Ligue 1 and the other one gets relegated or stays put, depending how you view it. But so that way you know what's in stake in that one. In the Europa Conference League spot is 6th place Olympic Lyon, the other. So as far as I can tell, I was looking around seeing if there's any news as far as the finances that goes for Olympic Lyon. Didn't see anything. So as far as I know, they are staying put in Ligue 1 and they are going to be in the Europa Conference League next season. So they are going to have a European competition. Like I said, man, this season was a little bit trialing for them because of the fact that they had to get their finances correct in order to go to stay in Ligue 1, because if they did not, they were going to get relegated down to Ligue 2 regardless. So just that's just what happened. But all right, in the Europa League spot, we got 5th place Lille. So Lille taking that 5th place spot will go to the Europa League. I think at the end of the day, man, if you can get some sort of European competition, that's extra money for the club, regardless of the level of the competition it is. I think that's just a fair place to be. But Lille gets in the Europa League. Obviously, if they can somehow win it, they get a chance to go to the Champions League. And speaking of that, Champions League, we got 4th place Nice. Nice, there is a little bit of an asterisk to them because they have to play a qualifier to make it to Champions League. So that spot could be an Europa League spot or it could be a Champions League spot. It just depends how Nice does in the qualifier. 3rd place is Monaco. And in 2nd place is Olympique Marseille. It's interesting because Marseille had such drama going on with them this season because of just the Zerbi at times just wanted out. You know, the whole Mason Greenwood thing. It was weird over there, but they're going to the Champions League. So despite all that happened, they're going to the Champions League. The champions of Ligue 1, which was very much decided, was 1st place PSG with a record of 26 wins, 6 draws, and 2 losses with a total of 84 points. PSG, which right now has already won Coupe de France, and this weekend they're going to be hoping that they can achieve a treble by winning their first Champions League trophy. So this has definitely been a very great year for PSG. It also is kind of funny because of the fact that you lose Mbappé, and I will say I will use the word lose because you didn't get anything in return for Mbappé. You didn't sell Mbappé. Mbappé just left because his contract ran out, which once again that's just bonehead business just in general. But that didn't matter because they went ahead and still made a good run, made it back to the Champions League final after so many years of not being at the final, going back all the way to the COVID season. And here they are. They're in the Champions League. I think their best performance ever in Ligue 1, almost went undefeated, and then also won Coupe de France. So they are on the cusp. They already got the domestic double, but they want the treble. And this team looked completely different without Mbappé. It was clear that it was almost as if they just did not have any distractions. And I hate using that word, but that's really what it is. They came in. It was a different team. They played like a unit, and I think that that's what changed it overall for PSG this season. Um, Kvaratskhelia was a great addition in the January transfer window, and yeah, this team was very much poised to make a strong year, and their season is not over yet. They still have one more thing to take on, and that is, of course, um, the Champions League final. So we'll see what happens for them. Can they get the treble? And we'll see, because that is the only team that's going for a treble. At least with a Champions League, involving a Champions League. But the guys with the golden boot. So there's two players that ended up getting the golden boot because they were tied with 21 goals apiece. It is Mason Greenwood from Olympique Marseille and Ousmane Dembélé from PSG. This year for once again Mason Greenwood, he just continues his road towards redemption. At this point, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But obviously, what happened with the whole allegations. Obviously, he gets basically booted out of Manchester United, goes to Getafe, and then now is here at Olympique Lyon. Some people are Olympique Marseille. People are hoping that he's going to get a look for the English national team, or probably not. He'll probably end up switching over to Jamaica. I think that that's very much still in the works. Still a bunch of possibility for Mason Greenwood is just to play for Jamaican's national team. And on the flip side, Ousmane Dembélé, once again, probably the year that when you need somebody to step up, and he's the one that did it. Ousmane Dembélé becomes kind of the guy to turn to for PSG this year, with a mixture of other players as well. But 21 goals. Some people are making a strong argument that Ousmane Dembélé should be the front runner for the Ballon d'Or, being that they did win Ligue 1, they did win Coupe de France, and I'll say this: just because you win the Champions League doesn't mean you deserve the Ballon d'Or. I'm just gonna say that just because you win the Champions League doesn't mean you win the Ballon d'Or. And the reason why I say that is because does it help validate your argument? It does. But overall, it's the impact that the player has. Now, Ousmane Dembélé impactfully towards PSG is definitely valid. I think that gives him a strong argument for being in the Ballon d'Or discussion. Do I think he's the front runner for the Ballon d'Or? No. I think that he could win the Ballon d'Or, and I think the Champions League will help solidify that argument for those that want him to win the Ballon d'Or. But it also goes down to a lot of combination of other things. It's not just you win the Champions. This isn't an individual based award. It's about finding the best player in the French media's opinion. Not necessarily the guy that got the most trophies. Now, is there an obvious correlation with great individual performance and trophies? Yes, that's very fair to say. Now, once again, I do fancy his chances. I do believe Ousmane Dembélé has made a strong argument for the Ballon d'Or. Do I think he's going to win it? No. But he will. I do believe he will be up there. He will be up there in the final, in the last three. But that's going to be, and we'll have an episode where we discuss it. But I think Ousmane Dembélé, once again, he stepped up when they needed a guy to step up. You lose Mbappé, and you needed someone to kind of take control of this team and be the guy to get the pressure. But it's not just him. And I think that's kind of where that argument for the Ballon d'Or kind of maybe, I don't want to say dissolves, but waters down a bit, because of the fact that it was also a combination of Hakimi. There's also Barcola. There's also the young player. I don't remember his name. Duje. I don't know. I can't pronounce his name. But a guy that no one expected him to have the year that he had. You had a lot of guys step up this year. Donnarumma, fantastic year, but. It's, like I said, Do I see him in as a finalist? For sure. Can I see him getting maybe getting more votes? Depending on how this season ends, I can see it. But do I see him as the odds-on favorite? Like, there's no doubt. No, I think he could win it, but I don't think it's guaranteed he's going to win it. Is what I'm saying. But we'll see what happens. When we get to the Ballon d'Or discussion. The Gold Glove, the award for the best goalkeeper, the goalkeeper with the most clean sheets, which was Bryce Samba from RC Lens, who had 12 clean sheets this season, and so he gets the Gold Glove. And I think Ligue 1, I think it was kind of how you expect it to go. You expect PSG to win it once again. I don't think that was shocking by any means. Was there things to follow? I think once again Olympique Marseille with Roberto De Zerbi, a guy that was expected to get the Liverpool job or some sort of high profile job in the Premier League after what he was able to do with Brighton, was also interesting for him to go and just take the Marseille job. Mason Greenwood, as controversial as he is right now, seeing how does he continue to move on from the allegations. But aside from that, it was just another year in Ligue 1 where once again PSG are champions of Ligue 1. So I think the thing that was different this time around was just the way that this PSG got it done. It wasn't because of Mbappé. It was because this team, which very much looks like a team, played for each other and clearly, and once again, props to Luis Enrique. I have to acknowledge his coaching ability, but his ability to rally these guys around and say we don't need an Mbappe. We just need this unit, and that's exactly what they did. Once again, Kvaratskhelia was a great addition to this team into the second half of the season, and yeah, this was a really good team, and they're hoping that they can. Their season isn't done just yet. They're hoping that they can make it even better with a Champions League trophy, and we'll see what happens there.
Who is that guy?